What's up, everybody? Got a new episode for you guys. We're going to be going through the reaction from the finals, and it's literally right after it happened. So you're going to be able to see right how our reaction post game. So shit, Warriors in six. I've been calling it. Curry went off, finals MVP. Horford tried to get it though, last minute. But so what was your guys' reaction to this finals?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Man, I really thought the Celtics was going to pull it off, man, from the jump. From day one, I thought they were the tougher team. I know the Warriors, they're the more experienced team, and as you can see, that mattered. Especially the bench guys from the Celtics, they really didn't give much all series. The only
They got
game
5 points off the bench.
it's been like that for a while. It's been like that for a while. The only games the Celtics were able to pull off were the games where Marcus Smart dropped 20. Yeah. So it looks like at the end of the day, he was the X factor for this series. In order for him to win, he had to average 20, and obviously he can't and couldn't do that. But kudos to Steph. I'm happy he finally got his Finals MVP. He played his butt off the whole series. Wiggins played his butt off the whole series. And didn't expect the Warriors to win it. But everybody knew that they could. So
yeah, definitely looking at this Warriors team, like it came down to looking at how Poole performed. I thought was how, because in the Denver series he was dropping 20, he was averaging 20 in the playoffs, but in this series they just needed him to give 15 off the bench, and that was solid production. So I really thought that was a huge factor.
And you look at, I mean, that's literally all their bench points. Him and Gary Payton back-to-back games, giving them solid production off the bench. Whereas Boston, you can see they didn't have that at all. So, but yeah, I mean, going into the series, the Celtics were heavily favored, at least based on what the data said, what they were 86% chances of winning. And you see why, because, obviously on paper, look at they starting five. They switching everything on defense. They're more athletic, they bigger, they're faster, everything than Golden State. So, but I mean, you look at their offensive performances tonight, it was terrible. Especially, I mean, they got it going. They try to cut the lead down towards the end of the third, but it just seemed like they were just playing hero ball, guys all over the ground and shit. I mean, damn. How many times was Marcus Smart on I just felt like they wasn't attacking the obvious mismatches. And when they did, like Golden State did a great job countering that, but the Celtics couldn't do anything about it, specifically Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Specifically Jason Tatum. The games they won, he had double-digit assists, and I thought that was going to be the recipe for tonight, and they couldn't get it done. This man had 13 points in a closeout game. That's unacceptable for any superstar.
Unacceptable.
But now, the 85 Bears out there, 13 points ain't gonna cut it.
I really liked how the Warriors, instead of starting Looney, they brought in Wilt Chamberlain Jr., Otto Porter in there. I thought that was a good move. He was more athletic. He can do a lot of things. And that lineup they had was but some games he didn't give you good offensive production, but his presence was felt. A lot of these adjustments Steve Kerr made, and it's just the experience. That's what it really came down in this series. Warriors, in this game 6, Celtics came out hot. It didn't matter. Warriors knew how to bounce back.
I mean, and to piggyback off of that, the Warriors' defense was incredible all series. Outside of game one, their defense was incredible. They were not – Celtics haven't been touching 100 points. And they've been turning the ball over like crazy. What they have in the first half today? 12, 13 turnovers in the first half.
Yes, they had 22 for the game.
You can't win a basketball game
at all
over that many times. You just can't. It's literally impossible to win a game when you turn the ball over that many times.
Now, looking at this Warriors team winning it this year, let's take a look at next year. Can this Warriors team bounce back, rebound, and repeat? Looking at the West getting healthier, all the teams that are coming back. The Clippers are going to be back next year. How is this Warriors team going to fare next year, you think?
With what's his name coming back at the center position, I think
Wiseman,
that'll be a big add. I think they can get, a solid guy and be right back into the mix. But presently constructed, everyone else is getting better, so they should too.
I think it would be foolish to say that they don't have a chance to repeat.
Right.
An NBA champion, unless they break the team up like the Miami Heat did and like the Cavs did, an NBA champion always has the ability to repeat. We all thought Giannis was going to be in the finals this year, right? Because
Chris Middleton injury, though. They could have been.
I think they would have been if Middleton didn't get hurt.
Got to give them that respect. And the Warriors, I don't think they have to go get better for the main reason. They got Wiseman and they got two young stars, and Poole and Kuminga.
Yeah,
we're both going to come back better, and Kuminga will get more playing time next season. He'll play the whole season next season. He'll be a part of the rotation. It'll be Gary Payton, Kuminga, Jordan Poole, and Looney off the bench next year. They'll have a solid 9 to 10 man rotation next year, I think. And they have the chemistry. They've been in the trenches already. They probably got some with Day, Draymond had, but other than that.
Draymond was hooping. What did he have? He had
12 is hooping.
Yes, he was. He had 12 points and 12 boards. Come on now, and 8 assists.
Okay, that boy was going crazy.
He was. I mean, when you look at this Warriors team, he's like the perfect fit for them. If you put him on any other team, maybe you could probably name a few more, but yeah, he's the perfect fit. But that's the recipe for longevity. As in terms of a team standpoint, is like when you draft guys like they did,
they draft
like
well
Steph,
too.
Draymond, and Clay. Those guys want to stay. You know what I'm saying? When you build a culture like that, as opposed to like that microwave success, like, okay, we're gonna win now, and then now we're in the lottery every year after. That's not necessarily just this recipe for success, at least long term. When we're talking about dynasties, all those teams were built through the draft, got a 1 or 2 free agent pickups, and were able to sustain it long term with great coaching, and obviously luck is involved in there too.
I want to quickly say it's unfortunate for the Celtics that
very
capitalized primarily because of the question you asked, will the Warriors be back next year? I don't think the Celtics have a chance next year.
It's going to be tough.
This is only getting better.
It's going to be tough.
I really don't see the Celtics making it that far next season unless they go get like a Brad Beal or something, which he probably wouldn't even fit with that team. But yeah,
what do you think about this though? Do you think that they need that point guard that all media is talking about to take that next step?
They need a bench, dude. They need somebody.
That's a fact.
They don't have a bench, no.
I don't mind their starting 5 because
either do I.
Marcus Smart starting at point guard. He's not looking to get buckets. He's looking to get his teammates involved. He can step out, knock down a 3. He can guard 1 through 4.5. But the bench is awful. Like you got D White, who's decent, but Grant Williams and Pritchard, them two, like I mean, for any other team, I don't even know if they get in the game.
Right. I mean, Devin White, he disappeared in this series. I mean, good God. Pritchard too. I mean, yeah, you're right. The bench is terrible. I don't think Marcus Smart is that playmaker though, in terms of like getting everybody involved though. I think that's the missing link. And you look at a guy like Chris Paul, who will set a screen for himself 95 times in the fourth quarter and get the matchup he wants every single time, and then he'll go do it for Devin Booker too. I think that's the type of guy they need, especially down the stretch when guys are flailing, falling over the ball and shit, turning it over, throwing it in the stands, complaining to the ref. They need a guy to lock them young guys in and create offense when it's stagnant.
It's going to be hard to get a guy like that. Not too many guys like Chris Paul are available, But looking at this Celtics team, Robert Williams took a jump. We talked about some of the stuff they need to work on. like this Celtics team, they need to get a bench then if they want to come back. I think I saw a trade that said Williams, Horford, and Tice for Karl Anthony Towns.
Hell no, Robert Williams.
Y'all not making that move.
Hell no, Robert Williams.
I don't think Rob Williams is the problem. Neither was Horford.
Hell no.
Horford stepped up big.
Right. The problem was this, not only the bench, but the Celtics had Kyrie Irving. Yeah. Can you imagine if he was still on this team with the same core? Horford was on the team. Jaylen Brown was on the team. Jason Tatum was on the team. Smart was on the team. 4 rotation guys that are still on the team now. They had Kyrie Irving. Can you imagine Kyrie with this team?
It's hard to say because that chemistry was tough, though. Like, when they played together, you saw the issues that they had gelling well. Because, like, with this team now the Celtics have, it's like you can tell who the guys are. Right. You know, with Kyrie in there, is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, are they that ego thing? That could play a factor.
Yeah, and it did in the past. But, I mean, Jason Tatum spoke about this on a podcast before where he was like, yeah, everybody want to be the guy. But I do think now in their career, they might be able to gel a little bit better, but you never know. And there's a reason why they shift his ass about it.
Even a guy, though, like Marcus Morris, though, if the Celtics still had a guy like that, that would be big time. Like that team that made a big run to the Eastern Conference Finals that lost to the Cavs, it was that like Kyrie going down where they had that great chemistry. Terry Rozier, those kind of guys they had. They didn't have that this year, you know.
Scary Terry. They had a bench.
They had a whip.
They had a bench.
Right. If you get a point guard and put Marcus on the bench, I mean, I think that'll open up a lot.
Or I really like Marcus starting at the 2, and you have Jason Tatum playing the 4 man. I don't dislike that at all. Jason Tatum was like 6'9", 6'10". Like I think he can guard every 4 in the league outside of like Anthony Davis. And that might be it. I think every other 4 man he probably can.
100%. Even AD, I'm taking
that. Even AD, a little bit. He might be able to back him down.
Hell yeah, especially in the 7-game series.
Jason Tatum should move down to the 4 if they get the right point guard for their team. He should definitely consider moving to the 4 man.
Yeah, I think this year they were built unique and a lot different than most teams. They had super athletic bigs and everybody could switch. So it was outside.
And all the bigs can shoot too.
Exactly. So it was like, why not play big if you got that many athletic guys that can be on the court at once?
Did you say all the bigs can shoot?
Well, besides Robert Williams, I forgot about him. But Tice, the guy that didn't get minutes, he can shoot.
Oh no, Al Horford was shooting the shit out.
Al Horford can shoot.
Hey, Al Horford like Steph right now, but
he wasn't going. He was trying to win Finals MVP and Game 6. True. But now, looking at Steph winning Finals MVP, where does he rank all time now?
I think he, no question, inserted himself in the top 10. Where he's at in there is tough.
Yeah.
But his impact on the game was a lot more than a lot of some of those guys in the top 10. Especially in today's era where all these little kids wearing little Steph shoes shooting from the parking lot and shit. You tell us, Rod, as kids you coach and try to shoot from the parking lot like Steph?
Hey, they try, but I don't let people shoot the ball. Hey, he's coming out all the way up there. Yes, Steph Curry is definitely in the top 10. I actually put out my pen and pad to kind of write it out and see who's in.
All right.
Okay.
We'll have LeBron at the 1. We're gonna do Jordan number 2.
That's questionable, but we'll let you keep going.
Right, it's your list.
We're going to do Jordan number 2 all time. Number 3, we're going with Kareem.
Okay.
Number 4, I'm going with I'm gonna go with Magic at 4.
All right.
It sound crazy when I say this, but I'm gonna give it to Larry the Legend at 5.
Larry?
I'm going Larry at 5. He deserves it. At 6, I'm going Timmy D.
Ooh.
At 7, I'm going Kobe.
Okay.
All right.
8, I'm going Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
9, I'm going Wilt. And 10, I'm going Stephen Curry.
Okay, so he's 10.
That's my top 10, yeah.
A lot of people don't have Tim Duncan that high, though. Which, I mean, he should be.
I agree. A lot of people don't have him that high. I think he should be on everybody's top 10 list. He should be on everybody's top 10 list, but I'm giving Tim Duncan all the respect he deserves because he got just as many championships as everybody on that list.
Right. He got 5 against Bron and
right. So
in Miami.
Arguably one of the greatest power forward of all time. He's out there.
All time. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Timmy D at number 6 for sure.
I don't know. I might take is you taking Steph over Magic, Micah?
He's making an argument for greatest point guard of all time.
Right. He's number 2 now.
Number 2 for sure.
Yeah, number 2. He's not touching Magic, guys. You guys are tripping. Magic Johnson is 6'9". He was the first ever point guard to be that tall with that vision, getting his guys involved and still affecting the game on the offensive end in terms of scoring the basketball. He's second to none. Like his name's Magic. Like he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Playing center in the NBA Finals when your big man, the MVP, goes down. See, he was doing
but how much would his game transition in today's NBA? I mean, he would just be what, like a big ass Lonzo Ball or something.
but you gotta think about it. So back then, guys didn't really work on that 3-point shot like that. If Magic played today, he would work on that 3 and he would have confidence in knocking that 3. Right. So I wouldn't even. I think Magic Johnson will be like Ben Simmons, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was thinking too.
Right, but he will be a little bit. He wouldn't be scared to shoot the damn ball. Magic Johnson, he'll knock that bitch down mid range.
Oh, no question.
He'll knock that thing down. No
sky hook.
So he had all that. He had the how he had all that in his bag. He would be a Hall of Fame, not a Hall of Fame. He would be an all-star today for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But we do got to give Steph his flowers. I mean, the guy averaged well above 30 this series. Was by far the best player in this series.
And he was recently
finally got his finals
most of those games. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
you dropped 43 in the Garden, and then dropped 34 in a closeout game.
Yeah. And people were like, all the doubters talking about him
from 3,
not making the shots to win the game. Him, like, I was one of those people that saying, Steph ain't gonna make the big shot.
I am too.
But he proved them all wrong this series. No Durant. Klay Thompson was there, but he was kind of a shell of himself. Wasn't his usual Klay in most games. But he literally put this team on the back and beat a good Celtics team. So, got to give him a
great defensive team. Anytime you average 30 plus against a team like that, is phenomenal.
It's making it look easy too.
It was kind of crazy watching this series just because I remember the Warriors from 2015, 2018. It just looked a lot different this time.
It did.
It looked like they had to try a little bit harder than back in the day. Back in the day, it was like easy. It was blowing everybody out, and it just came so effortless. But I feel like they had to work for this. They definitely had to work for this. It wasn't easy.
Back in the day, that was when Draymond was averaging double digits and giving.
Draymond was hooping back in the day.
He was hooping back in the day. He was. But that's all.
Where do you rank this Warriors team in terms of good with the other 3 that won chips?
This would definitely be the worst Warriors team for sure.
Got to be third, yeah.
But that's not a knock to this team at all. That's just giving flowers to how good the other 2 teams were. Now, the one with Kevin Durant on there.
Oh yeah, that goes without.
That's number 1.
They're arguably the best team ever. Like you can literally argue that. You can argue that that's the best team ever assembled in the NBA. The first time around with that chemistry, when they had Iguodala, when he wasn't in his prime, but he was in defensive prime still.
Finals MVP,
yeah.
For a reason.
They had Mr. Mid-Range Livingston, who was coming
He was so underrated, man. He
going straight to the elbow.
Hey, Every time he shot and that hand went back like this, you knew that motherfucker was going there. With that. Every time he's knocking that down.
Even Barbosa was on some of those teams.
Coming in a little hooper with his little,
ball. I'm taking Andrew Wiggins over
he stepped up big this series, this playoffs. Wiggins.
The three who was
Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes, yes.
Oh no, Harrison Barnes was a hooper.
Not in the finals though.
But they got him right up out of there too, though.
Yeah, he left for that cash. He wanted that back. Harrison Barnes got
right.
He left. But the thing about that 2015 Warriors team, everybody was in the peak of their career. And they played so well together, and it's almost like their ass never missed a shot. And it was something about the arena they were playing in. What was the old arena called they played in?
Oracle.
It was something about Oracle. That motherfucker got so damn loud. Like when somebody hit a three and the crowd went crazy, like you knew, damn, this shit finna get out of hand quick. You got to call timeout. I'll never forget in 2015. Never forget. The Spurs was playing the Warriors. It was a regular season game. The very first play of the game, Klay Thompson smacked a three, and the crowd went crazy. Pop called a timeout on the first play of the game. He smacked a three. Pop called timeout right away on the first play of the game. Because he knows this shit could get out of hand right away. So I got 2015 second behind KD.
Yeah, those other two Warriors teams had tougher teams to go through too. You had KD on the Thunder, those teams that they Russell and KD in their prime, they beat them. The Spurs were still doing their thing in the West. So there was a tough
Kawhi didn't get hurt.
Clippers with Chris Houston Paul, Blake Griffin, Lob City. Yeah. But another guy you got to give his flowers to, Zaza. That boy was knocking people out. He was a big anchor for that team.
Zaza got him to the finals.
Yeah. He got hurt, and then they lost.
Kawhi had the ball with them big ass hands, and he was palming that motherfucker. He was playing like Jordan.
And that was the only one on that Spurs team too. And he, like that main guy on that Spurs team, because Tony Parker, those guys were kind of aging, and him going out, that Spurs team could have done something against the Warriors that year.
Oh, they definitely was going to at least upset and take game one. I think they were up like 20 points when Kawhi got hurt, and the Warriors went up back and winning that game. So,
and the Thunder were up 3-1.
The Thunder were up 3-1. KD choked. KD was turning that bitch over like a motherfucker at the end.
And Russ was right behind him with it too, choking too. I got it, big bro, for the takeover. Turn over.
After Draymond lost it to LeBron, Draymond was in the parking lot crying on the phone with KD.
I don't know if is that 100% true. He came out and said it wasn't him crying in the parking lot
on the phone with KD. Come through, bro.
Needed help.
But shit, that's all we got for the reaction to the finals. As always, Steph Curry did his thing. Give him his flowers. Andrew Wiggins stepped up. A lot of guys for this Warriors team stepped up. Let's see if they can run it back next year. But if you haven't checked out the Instagram or the Twitter, check it out, Six Man Blitz. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5 stars. And as always, peace.